Alright, welcome to episode 34 of History Rewritten. Last time we had a pretty huge event occur in America, as you can see. It is entirely filled in. All of the Americas are entirely filled in. And, yeah, I didn't forget about the Galapagos Islands, don't worry. Those are Swedish now, so that's that. But you expected they go to the Grenadian country? They did not. Yeah, so America looks pretty cool, I think. I think this border is kind of throwing off South America. But North America looks pretty good. The Norwegians have so much land. But it wasn't just America where we divided stuff up. We also had it in Asia. So now all of continental Asia. Actually, no, this bit of Papua New Guinea's Oceania stuff. So yeah, all of Asia is now filled in. All of Europe's filled in. All of the Americas. We only have Africa, Australia, and Antarctica. Not Australia, Oceania, and Antarctica to do. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, also, Brown Country is massive. Now, at the moment, they're not too powerful. They've not got loads and loads of people, but they do have quite a lot of people. But their economic growth is through the roof, so, I mean, look out for these guys in the future, because they can be very, very scary. So, anyway, we are going to start with today's episode in Europe. Because, in recent times, a very interesting event has occurred. And this event is something that happened in 1750. Now I'm going to say this time it's about 1810 or something. Early 1800s anyway. So maybe this is a bit late, at least the announcing of this event, because it probably started earlier, but then let's say they kept it secret. Alright, so a few years earlier, about the time the Terracotta Nation discovered Australia, they were cooking up a certain idea. And this was the idea to start the entire Industrial Revolution. So that started off in the Terracotta Country, and I've kind of been planning this to happen for an extremely long amount of time, because if you take a look down here in the Netherlands, this stuff, there's a load of water, and you've got lots of watery bits of there, loads of rivers and things, and yeah, the reason they put their capital there was also, so they could go to America in a more easier fashion, but also because this is down here, and it made sense to put it there. So I've been planning these guys to start the revolution for a very, very long time, and that's finally come to fruition. So a few other countries might eventually pick up on this. However, these guys have started it, and they're going to be announcing, we've made a lot of stuff to the rest of the world, and also they're going to war. So yeah, they're also going to be like, right, we have just started the Industrial Revolution. Here's a lot of stuff we've made. Locomotion. Factories. Fun stuff like that. And also we're going to go to war against this grey country. So, really nice people like that. The grey country was obviously pretty unhappy. So, Terracotta Team troops moved in towards the capital of the grey country, which, unfortunately, this grey country was there's a lot of terracotta people here, which is kind of why they're invading it, just because, bring those people back to their old nation. So they ended up putting their capital right on the border of the terracotta country, because that was their main trade partner. Anyway, that's not really benefited them in a war, as they move in and instantly capture this, before moving out towards the second major city. By now, there's barely any people left within this country who even oppose the terracotta country. It's just a few guerrilla groups out in the mountains. However, they pretty quickly managed to take down the rest of the country. And, yep, let's get down to a peace treaty, which is going to be really hard to expect, I think. You won't see this one coming. Believe me, you're not going to expect this. So let me just do these borders on. And, yep, full annexation. Yeah, it's all part of the terracotta country now. And these guys have quite a nice sort of French, German, Swiss area in their country. But yeah, fight these guys next. That would look kind of great if it just became a European superpower. Poor old Swiss countries. Anyway, yeah, bring back the glorious terracotta country. But this has inspired a few of the European powers nearby, such as Britain and Ireland. Now, Britain, in our home timeline, started the Industrial Revolution in around 1750, but of course this time they didn't because continuity. Although Britain is the second strongest country in the world at the moment. Anyway, there's a lot of water, regardless, in Britain. And also Ireland, I mentioned before, they have lots of ditches. That was a very long time ago. But there's a lot of rivers in Ireland as well. I mean, just look at this coastline. This is Cork. I think this is Galway down here. Not to be confused with Galloway. But there's a lot of lakes and stuff. Loch Neg over there in Northern Ireland. Yeah, so these guys are kind of jumping on the bandwagon with industrial stuff. So have to see how that evolves throughout the episode. But one country who's very annoyed about this is the Sludge Nation. Now, the Sludge Nation was the country that invented muskets and guns and stuff. So they really like their technological stuff. So it really hurts these guys that their economy isn't really powerful enough to start industrializing. You know, they're mostly an agrarian economy, and it'd be really hard to transition to just making a lot of people work in the factories. They don't have enough money to build a lot of factories and then facilitate buying all their food and getting those people to work in the factories. I mean, lots of the countries they would trade with would probably have goods sold to them by the terracotta country who can produce stuff quicker than these guys can. So they hope to remedy this problem by leading an invasion of the only, that blue country they attacked beforehand. So terracotta team troops move quickly from their major city that they recently captured from this country, and they get pretty close to taking the capital. However, forces manage to repel them, but you know, there's more to the country than the capital. Not really economically, but and there probably is stuff along the south because, you know, the Crimean nation's there, or their friend. Maybe not stuff on the south. They move even further along the southern regions. You know, the blue country is probably a bit annoyed, but oh well. And eventually take the capital. This war isn't as fast as I make it sound, because the Sludge Nation really isn't as powerful as it used to be. Unfortunately for these guys, they're not up there like they used to be. I don't know, who's the strongest Baltic nation? Because the Estonian one isn't that weak. But I think these guys probably have surpassed this Estonian country. So out of all these old sludge team states who've got all of this stuff, I think. I mean, the orange country maybe not. But yeah. That's what they'd like to bring back to their country. And also this thing, but Sweden owns that. And Sweden is an imperial empire, so maybe don't fight Sweden. Just a quick suggestion. Yeah, so these guys are reaching out to more countries in Europe because they want to grow their economy, grow their country. And they do find a certain couple of countries who agree with them. But which countries in Europe? You know, I'm not going to say. Because these alliances, it's like the early 1800s. You know, might be important in the future. We'll have to see. Anyway, you just completely forget about what I said there, and let's continue on with the rest of the video. So, I don't know why I keep saying so like that. I really don't have a clue. Anyway, last time, of course, we had the colonization of all of America, so now the only continents left uncolonized are the continents of Oceania, and Africa. So, the biggest, most used colony. The new area of concentration has gone to Australia for the moment. So the Lime and the Terracotta country are doing some more colonization of this. You know, the Lime team, they're attempting industrialization. You know, they're the strongest country in the world. So once they heard this industrial stuff, they have really tried to go with it. I mean, they're very far away from the terracotta country though, which is causing them a few problems, so the British and the Irish have kind of got there first. But, you know, these guys, if they manage to properly industrialize, could supply pretty much all of Asia with industrial tools and stuff, and make them virtually unstoppable. So we'll have to see how that goes. However, as I mentioned before, some other countries have been gathering interest in this large island. And yeah, we're going to see those countries appear now. So, country number 1 is going to be the Korean country. Now they colonized a lot of Western Canada, USA stuff. It's a pretty nice colony, it's pretty large. And generally they're pretty friendly with... not really. They have a good friend in this nation up here. The Baikal nation's pretty friendly with them. And otherwise, it's not great. They quite like this South Japanese country. Japan itself isn't really that great friends with Korea because it broke away from Korea. And the Japanese and the Chinese and the Koreans have quite a rivalry. Otherwise, like, the grey country's neutral. And India kind of has a rivalry with the Koreans as well. So it's okay back at home with Korea, but that's kind of like actual Korea, which is interesting. Anyway, they're going to be making a landing in the northern coast of Australia, where it's really deserty and horrible. So that was a clever project. So yeah, they managed to make a colony on this entire northern stretch here, and this is the newest Korean colony. So there we go. The next country is not too far away. You know, most of these countries aren't very far away, as this one is going to be China. So the Chinese Imperial Empire isn't that huge. They have the Philippines, and they've got... is that it? Just the Philippines. It's the North Philippines, actually. But you know, they are just an empire in, like, the size of their land, the population. They're kind of like the one beginning with the Q dynasty. That one. And it's a large country. It's a powerful country. Yeah, anyway, sorry. It's a large and powerful country, and it's not really the overseas territories that make it so powerful. It's the fact that it's this big and has this many people. Oh my god. Anyway, going to go over to the live team again with these Asian empires now. This isn't going to be like a British Australia, I don't think. It's going to be more like an East Asian Australia, which is interesting. Well, there might be some Europeans who go there, other than the Dutch. The Indians managed to fully colonize the island of New Guinea, and also take the islands of New Britain and New Ireland, which always really interests me. How? I'm like, what do we call this one? New Ireland. Where is the resemblance between this thing and Ireland? I don't see it. You don't see it. This doesn't even look like Britain that much. But, no, who cares? The next country to make a landing here is another pretty powerful, like industrialized state, which kind of gives it away a bit. As this country making a landing now in Australia is the Irish. So they're the first people to go all around the coast of Australia. So they arrived in this southern area, and they discovered Tasmania recently. They went, nope, we're not going to take that. Somebody else will. Or at least they're not going to take it yet. So that is the new Irish colony, and they've kind of inspired some more stuff about discovering things elsewhere around Australia. So we'll have to see what happens to New Zealand, but yeah, as our Australia update. Also, lots of these islands have been found, like New Caledonia, the Solomon Islands, Bougainville, but India's budget isn't letting them colonize them yet, so we'll have to see how that evolves. Now, let's go and talk about India, because some things have been happening within India. Because last time, pretty much at the end, they made an invasion of this yellowish country right over here. And that didn't go too well. You see, the people over here, they weren't happy about being forced into the lime country. I mean, the brown country was kind of their friend. But the lime one, they didn't want to be part of this. The lime team, although they helped them, they kind of bossed them around and forced them to do stuff. And it wasn't great being a neighbour to the lime team. So people within this yellow country, or the remnants of it now, which is being assimilated into the lime team, they've got some ideas about maybe rebelling. So a few groups appear within the lime team, you know, bam, 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 bam. Something like that, in the name of bringing back the old yellowish country. However, the lime team, they're not having any of it. No, they don't condone this. This ain't happening in my house. So as you can see, the lime team has quite a lot of cities and quite a lot of people, which means they have quite a lot of soldiers. And they said all of those are right over here. And it's a genocide and a half. Thousands, hundreds, tens of thousands, maybe not 100,000, but near enough. People perish as the lime team. They take down the rebels. They take down the rebels' families. They raze villages to the ground. I like that phrase. And yet it's absolutely obliterated. And the rest of the world, as you can probably imagine, is kind of like, whoa, dude, chill out. Even some Indian people are a bit like, chill out. But also they kind of try and stop the rest of the Indian populace from hearing about what they've done. So they don't all really know. But the rest of the world, they know about this. They find out about this. And they'll be like, dude, what the heck? My god. I'm scared. That's gonna make some people think, is the lime team really a good country? Not really. Entirely. But it doesn't really stop there. There's people within this southern yellow country right down here. These guys, they're pretty good friends with the brown country, and they're pretty good friends with the tributaries, like the old states. They're all made from the pretty huge old brown team empire, like this yellow one, the blue one, and the purplish one. Well, the blue one's more allied with China now. But anyway, so people down there begin to rebel away against the Indians to be able to cross the border, make it into the Indian state. Their family, who live in India at the moment, will start to rebel, and unsurprisingly, the exact same thing happens. It's brutal. And there's actually an Indian invasion of this country. So Indian troops make their way into the state and just start to tear things apart, really. It's like utter obliteration of areas within this country as just villages are destroyed. And incidentally, that's just kind of going to create the need for a puppet state. Of course, you need a puppet state to be made just to stop things going wrong. So a small, like a very small country, is created up here in the north. It's one of the smallest countries in the world. However, it is effectively just the lime team. They've got even more power over these guys. And they make a pretty small country over here by India. By this Ceylonese place. Going, no, don't worry. They're just making a small country just so we can fix a few things that are wrong in this area. So we'll have to see how it goes with this vassal sort of state thing. But yeah, the world isn't really liking this. They're pretty suspicious of all the stuff that's going on in India, and this isn't right. The power that India has over people and how they treat other countries. You know, people rebel within these Andaman Islands because they used to be owned by these guys, I believe. And once again, the same thing happened. You know, even people from like the Orange team who were like, "Whoa, this is not right. You're hurting people of our same religion and stuff." They make the trip over as people down in Ethiopia in the Tanzanian colony, but it's copy and pasting the same story. The Lime Team government is brutally suppressing every single group that breaks away. It's not looking good. It's truly not looking good. A new law enforcement comes in, they enlist a load more troops, they go into the streets of these rebelling areas. That's like a Lime Team official who managed to persuade the Orange Team that they should be allowed into the country, and they kill a few people who helped to damage the Lime Team. But yeah, it's not good. The same thing happens in Ethiopia, although like you don't really need a license to get in here because Ethiopia is just not that powerful. Really, like it's a strongish country, but it's not up there with the Orange team, who's like top 20 definitely, I believe. Actually, maybe not, but near enough. They're strong. They are a strong country. Believe me when I say to you. Anyway, then we go to staying over here in Asia. I mean, there's not many places we can go. As the Japanese will be leading another invasion of this bluish country. You know, it's one of the first places they invaded, and they're going back here again. Because, you know, they were occupied with their empire for a while, but now they're looking back at the Isles, and they're like, why don't we just make it all Japanese? So, the Japanese troops make their way to the capital. They're repelled for a while over here by the coast, but they make a landing further eastwards before closing off a huge area. Then the troops are distracted, and the Japanese just manage to take the capital. They go further south, take more areas of the country, separate this small eastern part, and take the remaining major city. So, yeah, I wonder what this peace treaty is going to look like. Full annexation. So the Japanese country effectively now owns the entire Japanese Isles, except for the northern one. Yeah, the northern bit. There's a tiny bit of it that's owned by the Kamchatkan Sakhalinese country. Also, apparently, this island's still owned by the yellow one, but it's not. I mean, do you count these islands as Japanese? It's like the Ryukyu Islands are up here. I'd say no, but we'll see. But yeah, they want to unite this all. So, relations with the Sakhalinese country are pretty bad at the moment, just because they don't like each other very much. They both have different claims. Like the Sakhalinese country claims this entire northern island, Hokkaido, I think, and the Japanese claim this bit, and also they probably don't claim Sakhalin, but yeah. There's some other claims around the world as well, though. But where was I going to go to next? Because I forgot where I was going to go to next. I have completely forgotten where I was going next. I know I was going to do something. What was I? Oh yeah. So the green team, you know, we're going to run to a lot of old faces in today's episode. The green team, sludge team, lime team. They kind of got really hurt. They had a huge empire, and a lot of countries took a lot of their land. So they're going to attempt to get revenge on those countries by declaring war on this small country down here. This sort of greenish one, but it's not going to be easy. So, I'm realizing something now. I can just... Does this look better if I do it like this? So the green team will make an invasion along the coast. They managed to capture some areas around this northern part of the country and close off that bit. You're going to take more northern areas of the country. They kind of try and close down the capital. However, enforcements are being sent in from this country a bit, because these guys kind of have a friendship with these guys. They give them a bit of access to the Caspian. All the lime teams are kind of like, hey, the green team's kind of our friend, so probably don't do that. It's annoying. So where was these guys' capital? Let's say it's this city. But I don't know if I just didn't give them one. I'm actually gonna possibly remove that in a second, so we'll see. Anyway, they managed to encircle the major city over here and this southern area before finally closing in after a few months and taking this major city. But it's been slow going. This war is not a fast-paced action. War. I don't know. They managed to take more territories, but it's been like 2 years of war by now as they advance towards the capital city. So they head along the south. However, the forces, it's pretty tough down here. Neither of these countries are industrialized, even slightly. But, yeah. Anyway, another country will be joining this war, being this brownish country, you know. The war's been going on for a while, however they've decided, let's join it. Why not? Also, this bit might get messed up, so I think make it white now. So they lead an invasion into the western part of the country. They did not expect this invasion. They had relatively good relations. And the brown team manages to take the capital, well, the major city over here, surprisingly. They continue their southern advance until it's just a small part of the country left. Around the capital, the green team advance continues until finally the capital is holed out by itself and they manage to take it. So, yeah, let's have a look at this peace treaty, because it's going to be a good one, possibly. Also, what country is the, what colour is the brown one? I think it's just brown to 100. Brown to 50? I'm good at remembering this stuff. So the brown country will get a few provinces. They don't get loads because they weren't in the war for too long. I mean, they really helped to end the war though, so they're undoubtedly important. They get this stuff, whilst the green team will get a lion's share of the territory, which is, I mean, a lot of the territory. An awful lot of territory. And some pretty nice stuff as well. The Caspian coast is really what the green team likes, and they're getting more of it. They've had so many times they tried to take the entire coast of the Caspian Sea, and failed. Miserably. So, yeah, it's a real shame for the green team. But will they manage to succeed at this time? Probably not. We'll find out, I suppose. Are they even going to get anywhere this time? Probably not. And they managed to take this. But finally they have, as a huge argument, over what to do with this final section. So in the end they just split it half and half. That was about all they needed to do. But it took them a month to decide what to do with this, because these people are pretty argumentative. They hate each other. Because this is, of course, the brown team Caucasian people and the green team, who literally took the brown team from that area. You know, they were under green team administration for a while, but they managed to get their kind of independence from the green team regime, and that looks just abysmal. I hate how this looks. Oh god. Oh, that's not nice to look at. How the green team looks pretty good. They look a bit like the old green team, if you remember. But yeah, the purple team is really screwing up the brown team's borders. Oh, it's not great. Yeah, I thought there's here, I believe. Ah, yes, I was. So, last time, we also had a war with this vibrant green country. And, the war's still going on. But this time it's a civil war. So we have a pretty huge northern province claiming its, not province, it's like area, of the country claiming itself as its own independent country. You know, like, there's not loads of people, there's not loads of industry, there's not loads of anything up here. But yeah, we have this kind of eastern area claiming its stuff, and then there's just the rest of the country. They're not really in any situation to stop this, so these two areas, it looks pretty good for them. Just getting their own independence, so we have this one, and we have this northern area. The south is still fighting amongst itself. There's a ruler crisis thing. You know, the king died and he didn't really have any successor. So now lots of groups are fighting over being the next king. And it's not looking good. So, another region will break away from this country. Over here in the northern part of the country. So this pretty huge area going to claim its independence from this vibrant green country. I don't know why I keep calling it that, but it's just its name now. And they managed to succeed in their ambition of getting independence. And boom. There you go. You're an independent state now. That's cool. Damn. Yeah, it's not looking good for this unfortunate green country. And it's not really going to get any better for them. Because of a couple of the countries nearby. Yeah, so basically the other green country and the red country are just going to partition this place up. It's not that difficult, really. I hate to tell you this, but they kind of just walk in and go, right, I'll take this bit, you take that bit. There we go. Actually, I think these guys can get the capital because they're going to get less land. And there we go. This is the end of the vibrant green country. They were kind of weird to look at on a map and looked pretty similar to the other one. But also, I kind of just let go now. There was no real reason for it. Just had them disappear. Also, what shade of red were you? Is this 30? I believe it's 30. It's pretty dark though. I can't do this. Alright, so there is the red country, which is now pretty huge, which might come back and bite them in the future. We'll have to see. These Central Asian states have really grown a lot in the past few episodes. Like Baikal is massive, but they were pretty strong. This other bright green country is pretty huge. The red country is pretty huge now. And there's not too much in the south. So the southern bit might not go amazingly in the future. Let's see how that goes. Yeah, let's get down to doing the capitals for these new countries. There's 3 new Central Asian states in the world now. Let's see what effect they have. And none of them have major cities, so that's good. Lilac country right in the middle. Yellowish country, eastern border. Greenish country by this lake. There we go. So there's that. I think there is one more thing that I want to do in today's episode before we leave it off. Because finally a country has discovered the islands of New Zealand, and that country is of course United Kingdom. It's not really the United Kingdom, but it's Britain. So they arrive in the southern part of the islands, right about here, and make their own new colony. I mean, yeah, I just quite like New Zealand, to be honest. So this is very far away from their other colonies, just for the moment. They take this southern island, and yeah, that's not quite where we're going to leave it. Maybe. Actually, yeah, let's just leave it there for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed the episode. It was kind of fun to record. A couple of new countries, and we definitely set some things in motion. You know, the Lime team, it's not going great for the Lime team at the moment. Their kings lost a considerable amount of power to the rest of his subjects. There's a lot of advisor, aristocratic, oligarchy dudes in control of the country at the moment, and they don't entirely know what to do with it, but they're not very nice people. Their generation hasn't been poor for a very long time. Their lineage. So they don't like poor people very much, which is just kind of a random fact, but I thought I was going to link that to something, but I might have just said they don't like poor people. Anyway, yeah, they don't treat people very nicely, and lots of countries in the world really hate the Lime team. Because they've murdered so many people. They're going to lead more invasions into other countries, such as the Orange country. More people are taken down across this eastern coast. People make their way into the Brown country, who's really... their military is like Iceland sort of level. It's not amazing. Also, they just used it all against a war. In a war against the Yellow country, these guys can't really resist an invasion by the Lime team. They're not taking land, they're just killing people and going, stop it, or else I'm going to kill everyone. They even go across the Himalayas to go and stop some people in the Red country because they kind of don't tolerate this new religion the Red team has. Although, that's spreading into the Blue country, this Greenish country, this Reddish country, even some areas of China. Although China's religion thing, it's all like, there's lots of merged religions over here. The Chinese religion, it's kind of this big old Southeast Asian thing. They've also got parts of, I don't remember what I said for religions, but they've got parts of the Green Team religion, Central Asian religion, Lime Team religion, Red Team religion, loads of religions in the Chinese country. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. But yeah, anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I enjoyed making it, a lot of fun, pretty cool. Thanks for watching, and have a nice rest of your day. Goodbye.